What it is, this is This is Trill, you feel me? Y'all miss me? You feel me? So right now we are in Florida. We are in a certain type of house. This is my house, you feel me? We've been here for about 2 weeks, like going on 2 weeks now. You feel me? I've been here, well, I haven't really picked up a camera since Alabama, which y'all gonna see that, but everything, a little bit of stuff after, like, y'all will be able to tell what's been older and what's been newer. For the reason we haven't been posting, it's just mental. You feel what I'm saying? Like, it's been hard being here. You feel what I'm saying? With the loss of my sister and whatnot. I haven't really had the strength or had the motivation or had even the what's the word? Not dedication, but the discipline to pick up a camera and record. You know, because in my mind, after motivation dies, you need discipline. You see what I'm saying? You need discipline in your life. So I haven't had the discipline to stick with my craft. You feel me? I've been ducking and dodging. I'm ducking and dodging, editing and uploading. You feel me? I haven't been avoiding more, but I've kind of been like feeling bad. So you feel me? Because I know I'm wrong. You see what I'm saying? Like when you know you're wrong, you try not to face the person that you know you're doing wrong too. You see what I'm saying? Like, I feel like I've been on like some green ass fuck shit with him. You see what I'm saying? Not in the sense of like I'm being like rude or like green like nasty to him. I'm just saying, like, I know I'm not in my right of mind to where I should be on my craft. You feel me? And that's affected him. So I kind of been like, you know what I'm saying? Not dodging him, but in the sense of like, kind of like a fear to face him, in a sense. Not a fear, because I don't fear nobody but God, you feel me? You know what I'm saying? But like in the sense of, I know I'm letting him down, you feel me? And it's hard to face somebody that you letting down, you feel me? But with that being said, I am back. But today's subject, I want to talk about something that's been going on TikTok, that I've been seeing going on social media and Instagram, which is Polo made a new collection. It's called the Oak Bird, something like that. The Oak, something like that. But it pretty much is around, it's centered toward the black community. And also seen a couple of videos on TikTok and Instagram about how black people don't really wear preppy stuff, how black people used to like that's not our culture. We don't come from that. We don't wear we don't wear that type of stuff. We only wear streetwear. But my question is, to why are we limiting ourselves? See what I'm saying? Why, as a black community, we put ourselves down and we label people that do wear that type of stuff as whitewash? Why do they get to wear prestigious things? We get to wear rags, or we get to wear streetwear. We get to wear something that's not as equal to them, from saying, or better than that. You know what I'm saying? Like, we put our own selves down, but then we get mad when they do it to us, if that makes sense. You know what I mean? Like, this collection was centered to us, right? Because they just at the Spelman College. This collection was centered behind us. If you actually go to the website, they get, like, you have to read before you can even buy the collection. They have a thing where you have to read, and then, I'm sorry, my TV just went off. Let me back up a little bit. My TV, well, I'm sorry, but you have to read, before, read a little bit about the collection, and then you have certain type of things where you can read on the inspiration behind the collection, and then you actually go to the collection, and the collection is not cheap. So I'm saying, you can't just buy that collection like any other polo. So I'm saying, like, polo has different levels. Y'all may not know this, which I didn't know this at first either. Polo has different levels. You have base polo. You have, I think there's 4 levels of polo. You have base polo. You have getting into higher quality polo, which is like $200 to $300. Then you have higher than that, which is like $500 to $1,000. Then you have purple tag. Purple tag is $2,000. So I'm saying $2,000. That's the expensive polo. You feel me? Well, a lot of times what we're buying is the base level polo, right? Like, for me, I just got some polo very recently. I got this shirt, right? Which I wasn't gonna show y'all, but if I'm saying, this is base level polo, right? This is what base level polo look like. You feel me? This is what you're gonna get when you go to the store, when you go to you can go to Macy's, you can go to the outlet, you can go to a polo store and get this, right? This is base level polo. This polo costs $119, right? You know, so that's what this polo is. You feel me? Then you also got certain type of other pieces. You got polo shirts, you got just t-shirts, you got just things like that. But why can't we be centered around an expensive collection? You know what I mean? Why do we have to always dumb ourselves down? And dumb ourselves down in the sense of, why do we put ourselves down just that we can't be wearing purple? Like we can't have a purple tag. You know what I mean? Like, I thought about this in my bed yesterday. Is a lot of times we want a sorry. You know what I mean? In the sense of sorry for, oh, we didn't give you fair treatment, or we didn't give you this collection, or we didn't give you this and that, or sorry for slavery, things like that. So the way I look at it is, right, when, I don't want to word this. Pretty much what I'm trying to say is, when I first heard it, I was very irritated. Because when we see a black person that's preppy, we automatically assume they're whitewashed, or they're white coated, or they're Uncle Tom or Coon. But why? You know what I mean? Like, why does that have to be considered Uncle Tom, Coonish, whitewashed? Why can't that just be who they are? They could still be black, right? Because being an Uncle Tom is centered around, oh, you don't like black people, or you turn on your black people, or you like the white people more. That's two different things, right? But you can wear a preppy outfit and not be called whitewash. You can wear a preppy outfit and not be called Uncle Tom. Because if you really pay attention, Polo was in the black community for a long time, decades. Like, my father just informed me, excuse me, cause I want to say, because now seeing this made me realize that I kind of played into it a little bit. You feel me? I kind of played into the image that we can't, that if you don't talk a certain way, oh, it's whitewash, something like that. You feel me? So I'm gonna start trying to change my vocabulary. But my father just informed me that that Ralph Lauren, one of his teacher was a black man, and his teacher worked under him after Ralph Lauren got to the level he was. You know what I mean? So black people has always been involved in Ralph Lauren. There's always been a culture of black people in Ralph Lauren, but he's always made it a precedent to make sure they look, I want to say how I word it, because I want to say sophisticated, but make sure they look top line, in the sense of they all look the same. From, you got white people to Hispanic people to black people, they're all dressed the same. There's no mediocrity or divide in the sense of, oh, the white people are just better than the black people. No, they're the same. White people are just the same way as the black people, in the sense of what we're seeing is they have on the same outfits. They're like, there's no divide. There's no, oh, they're more dirty, or they're more hip hop or street, or whatever you want to say. Because that's what I'm using the words that I heard people say verbatim out their mouths. Oh, black people are more street, black people more hip hop. You know what I'm saying? Because that's what we're pretty much that. But what we're saying about this collection is that we don't wear that because that's too white. You feel me? Like, it's so infuriating seeing my people, because where I grew up, you feel me? Everybody had polo. Polo was a thing that you got for a birthday, and that you wore it for years and years and years, right? You feel me? Polo was a thing that, oh, you saved your money to get some polo. You feel me? And you use it, and you wore it with some slacks, or you wore it with some Sperry's, or you wore it with some claws. You feel me? So I'm saying, or you had a good some khaki pants or some khaki things, you wear a little polo, you feel me? And then you have some slides on, you know what I'm saying? Depending on what you was wearing, something like that. Or you had some jeans shorts or some polo on, you feel me? Like especially in Florida, polo has a heavy culture in Florida, right? So we was always wearing polo here. And even when I went to Virginia, we was wearing polo there. Even in Hawaii, we was wearing polo there. Even in like the DMV area, even down south, Louisiana area, even we went to California. Well, I don't know about California a lot, but you know what I'm saying, there's still been a heavy influence of culture there. But a lot of times we dumb ourselves down, or we say, oh, we don't do that just because we see a predominantly white source wearing it. Or when we do see black people wearing it, we're calling them cool, we're calling them sellers, we're calling them all this type of that, but that should maybe be their style. You feel me? Like why do we put ourselves in a box? And then we beg. We're not beg, but we ask. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't want to say we beg, but we ask companies and designers and outlets to give us our collection and give us our voice. So then when they do it in a high quality manner, because again, this collection was a high quality collection. This collection not something that you can just get it made by at the store. No, you get it online or specific locations. So they give us a high quality collection, not no run of the mill bullshit. No, they give us a high and that's what I'm trying to get people to comprehend. This is a high quality polo shirts, high quality polo sweaters, high quality polo pants, high quality polo shoes, high quality polo socks. This is a high quality collection that they're giving us. And we're saying, oh no, we don't wear that. That's your preppy. We won't wear that preppy bullshit. No. If you don't wear it, then try and wear it. If you can't afford it, oh well, then you can't afford this one. But the people that can't afford, don't put them down because they want this collection. This collection was literally made for us. Because realistically, why would, now being realistic, why would a white person go out, unless they went to Spelman, which, for I'm saying, I personally kind of doubt, but unless they went to Spelman, why would they wear a HBCU or a Spelman, why would they wear a HBCU or a Spelman sweater, or a Spelman hoodie, or a Spelman collection? You feel me? Like, and then, excuse me, but then when they take it away, right? So let's say, right, boom, right? So let's say from all the outrage or whatever you want to call it, they say, okay, we're not doing it anymore. Later, about 5 to 10 years, we're gonna be like, oh, they don't give us enough recognition. They don't do this because we have a heavy influence of polo culture, but they did. And they didn't give us no run of the mill. No, they gave us some good stuff. Like, it's so like I don't think y'all understand, because I love clothes, fam, and I love polo specifically. But it's so infuriating when I see my community and my culture put ourselves down just because it's something new. And this collection's not even new, or just because this isn't what they're used to, or this isn't what they see as good or as black or as their style. You know what I mean? So it's infuriating with that part. So a lot of times I just sit back and I think, you know, and also which is why I try to be different with my fashion, which is why I try to be different from what you usually see. You know what I mean? Not a different sense of like wearing dresses, nothing like that. You feel me? Because that's dead. But in the sense of, okay, how can I incorporate what I like, but also experiment with different colors, different things like that. You feel me? You know, cause like when I was younger, I did wear mostly skinny jeans to some type of shorts, something like that. You feel me? I stopped wearing shorts a little bit. You feel me? But I wore skinny jeans. I wore things like that. I wore slides. Like, you know what I'm saying? So once I got to the place where I was more comfortable with myself, I started trying to experiment with different colors, with different things, right? Because if you go on my Instagram and look, Trill, I try to make it, if my outfit isn't colorful, I try to make the background colorful. You know what I mean? Something has to be vibrant. Something has to be a splash. Something has to be like different from what everything else. You feel me? Like for one outfit, I wore a polo shirt. I wore the red and white polo shirt. I wore some green pants, and I wore some black dress shoes. And then I switched to polo boots. You feel me? Again, heavy polo culture. You feel me? But with that, my background was dull. I had brick walls. I had like red, gray scenery. Now when we got to certain type of pictures, they have spray paint, things like that in the background. But I wanted to make something pop behind me. What my background speaks for my outfits. My outfits speak for my background. You understand? Like, it's not just about now. Now, a lot of people might not care about fashion, which is okay. That's not your cup of tea. That's mine though, but that's not your cup of tea. But everything speaks from what you wear, from what you represent. You know what I mean? So when I wear polo, I want to mix the prestige with my own style. You know what I mean? Because when I think of polo, it's prestige, it's luxurious, it's okay. I'm gonna say this for something else, right? So when I wear polo, I want to say, okay, how can I make this into something that I would, something that I like, something I would wear, something that I feel comfortable in. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like we just gotta get away from, oh, we gotta get away from that's coolness, that's whitewash, that's all this other stuff. And we gotta put ourselves in a new era. We gotta bring our people up and say, okay, how can we turn this into this? How can we say, okay, that's that you wearing preppy stuff, you wearing tucked in, that's not really my style, but I do like that shirt. So okay, I'll wear that. You feel me? Okay, I do like that. Well, that's not really my style, but I'll try it with this one time, see how I feel in it. You know what I'm saying? As respect to you, you feel me? But the whole thing just rubbed me the wrong way. The whole thing was kind of like we ask for a collection, we ask for recognition, but then when they give it to us, we tear them down because that's not what some people wear. That's not what they would wear. You feel me? But then we leave out the majority of people that actually follow the polo, that actually into fashion, that actually into the more luxurious type of things, and we call them out. We say they're cool. We say this and that. But then, right? And to me, this collection not that expensive, right? Because I see a lot of people spend $600 on shoes, but can't spend $200 on polo. $800 on shoes, but can't spend $500 on polo. No. So when I look at it, I say, you just don't do your research. You buy trends. You buy things that you see other people wearing, right? Because, excuse me again, hold on. Excuse me, but if you really, in my opinion, there was really a want to elevate your style, you would do the research behind the brands that you're buying. You do the research behind Balenciaga. If you were truly as a Black American saying, oh no, they're using us or profiting about us, you will look at the other brands you're buying. You will look at Levi's. You will look at Gucci, Louis Vuitton, Balenciaga, Bottega, Goyard. You look at all the things that you're buying and truly do your research about how they treat Black people. But no, we focus on the fact that we personally wouldn't wear the clothes, and we criticize everybody else for it. Hold on, I'm back. And pretty much, yeah, I just want to say that the fact that we criticize other people for wearing clothes that we personally wouldn't wear. You feel me? Like I said, if you were serious about the cause and serious about or you felt like they were taking advantage of us, you should do that for all the brands you buy. You should do that for Nike. You should do that for Adidas. You should do that for Puma. You should do that for every brand that you are consuming or that you're putting on your body, you should do that for everything. Not just call it a brand just because it's not what you grew up on or you were uneducated about the history of the brand. You feel me? Because to speak more about the actual brand of Ralph Lauren. A lot of people don't know that Polo and Ralph Lauren, Lauren by Ralph Lauren, and what is it? Purple Tag Polo. The Purple Tag Ralph Lauren is different, right? Like I said, there's like 4 stages. There's Polo, which I have. Feel me? Then you have, excuse me, Ralph by Ralph Lauren, I think. Then you have, I think, Lauren by Ralph Lauren. And then after that, I think it's another step above that. And then it's a Purple Tag. Purple Tag gives you like $5,000 type of clothes, $10,000 type of clothes. That's like high-end, high luxury, best of the best of Polo, right? And there's probably another secret one that I don't know about, you feel me? And they have a golf collection, things and other things like that. But in this one, we're, like I said, we're giving a high label of the brand. This is not no run of the mill. This is not no cheap. This is not no just piece together. No, this is actually the second edition because the actual designer graduated from Morehouse. Feel me? Then they put Spellman in there. So you know, when we look at the culture, right? Because when we look at why they're doing it, when we look at the implications, when we look at the lifestyle, when we look at what people are saying about it, you have to do research about it, right? Because a lot of people, I don't want to say are ignorant, but they're misled and misguided into believing that, oh, if I see something I don't like it, and then this is what it is. You feel me? A lot of people aren't gonna do their own research about it, right? Because if I were to go on the Polo actual website, because I actually did, right? Because when I first heard about it, I was like, what? Because the video was like, oh, I stole Polo. I never stole from no Polo in the first place, but right, but right. But when I first heard about it, I was like, okay, let me do my own research. So I typed in there, I was like Polo. I was like, okay, I can't really find a collection, so I typed in the collection name. I think Oak B, some Oak B, right? So I ended up typing the collection, and then it came up, right? So when I first clicked on it, it had like a letter or like a paragraph, right? We got to first read through to do it. You can't skip the paragraph. You can't skip through it. You have to read it. You have to go through the process of having it on your screen. And then it changed to another screen where it was like more in cursive, but it was still a paragraph, right? So then after you get to the actual collection, it has a collection on there. It has a history. It has different type of implications on there. So we're actually telling you and actually giving you information about why they're doing the collection, everything that's involved with the collection, everything like that. So they're paying homage, or they're giving us a stage and a platform to express ourselves, right? But like I said, I get irritated when we do get to stage of platform, then we downplay it, or we say that's not what we wanted, or that's not what you wanted. And then when they don't give us that platform anymore, we get mad, we get angry, we start to go on the internet, we start to do certain things, we start calling outroar and outrage. But we were the one that took the opportunity from us. You know what I'm saying? We were the one that took the opportunity from us, just because we didn't like it. You know what I mean? So it's just that type of things, right? And I feel like a lot of times we can be ignorant. Same with me. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying only I was ignorant too. We can be ignorant to certain things around us. We can be ignorant to certain cultures and certain outfits and certain type of apparel, just because it's not what we grew up on. For me, so I just feel like we need to change that as a community. We need to do our research as a community. We need to do our research and not just see things for face value. Or we need to do our research and say, okay, why did this? Okay, and then form an opinion about that. And then come with facts about our opinion, right? Because if that man would have said, this is why I think this, and this, and came with facts, not just, oh, it's not what we grew up on. It's not like us. They don't know, feel me? Because for me, I don't think he really read. I don't think he really did his research about that. You feel what I'm saying? It came from a bias and a biased and a closed-minded perspective of thinking and talking, you know? So I feel like that needs to change in our community, for multiple different reasons. Not just for fashion, not just for clothes, not just for appearance, but for anything we do, you feel what I'm saying? We should never put out a black man, black woman, for working a corporate job, for not doing what's norm, for wearing a shirt a certain way, wearing certain type of things, talking a certain way. You feel me? There should not be a stigmatism around talking properly, if that makes sense, right? We shouldn't say somebody's a whitewash or say somebody's code switching or say something like that for talking in a proper manner without using slang, right? Because let's not act like slang is a proper manner, because it's not. Whatever you want to say, slang is not a proper manner of talking, right? Because we're slanging our words. It's slang for a reason. You see what I'm saying? Now, there's a time and place to use slang. I'm not saying using slang is wrong, because I use slang all the time. You feel what I'm saying? Y'all hear me use slang. You can say you feel what I'm saying, the slang. You can say legit. You know what I'm saying? So I use slang all the time. But you shouldn't put nobody down for not using slang, or for using proper words, or for using certain type of bigger words, implications, or not implications, but using certain bigger words to express themselves. See what I'm saying? That's not what we should be doing, especially our black community. Instead, we should be lifting up and asking, okay, how can we do what they're doing? Or how can we expand our vocabulary? Or how can we change the way we talk? Not change the way we talk for other people, but change the way we talk for ourselves. See what I'm saying? Because before somebody take us serious, we need to take ourselves seriously, right? And with that, and that comes a lot of things. That comes with just time, effort, change, and all other things right now. Like I said, we need to change our mindset, to change our people, to change our environment, to change our social status, right? Because if we're the black community are putting a black man down for one work for Fortune 500 company, how can he go there and take criticism from another race, another ethnicity, when his own ethnicity is putting him down? Excuse me, you see what I'm saying? If he feels unwelcome by his own ethnicity, but then another ethnicity, another race opens arms to a certain extent, why would he not flock to them? You have to ask yourself that. If you were playing football, or you were doing cheerleading, but they didn't welcome you with open arms, but then you went to volleyball, or then you went to basketball, or then you went to golf or hockey or whatever else you want to say, and they opened you with open arms, aren't you going to go flock to them? See what I'm saying? Like, it's certain levels to this, right? It's certain levels to this. So if we put somebody down for dressing preppy, or dressing how they feel like they feel most comfortable dressing, but then they turn around and they see people that dress like them, and the people that are dressing like them, which is predominantly more white people from what I've seen, is opening them with open arms, won't they go flock to them? But if we change our narrative and we say, okay, you dress that way, that's fine. But come on, we open you with open arms. That's cool, that's raw. Okay, that's your own style. Won't they feel more comfortable dressing with them, talking to us, and being more themselves? Now, they are diverse in the sense of they know both cultures, but they're more comfortable in the sense of blackness. See what I'm saying? Now, there is difference from whitewash and from just being around predominantly white people, you feel me? Because what you're around, you're going to present. What you're seeing, you're going to present, right? Whitewash does not mean just because somebody is just around black people, you see what I'm saying? Whitewash, from my understanding and from my vision, is you want to be white or you act white. Not in the sense of act white, because you can't really act white, but it's certain mannerisms, because let's not act ignorant, let's not act coy. There's certain mannerisms that white women have, that white men have, that black men have, that black men have and black women have. Whether it's wherever you came from. You see what I'm saying? But it's not always white. You know what I'm saying? Being proper is not a race thing. I don't care what nobody says, it's not a race thing. Talking proper, saying yes sir, no sir is not a race thing. Having etiquette is not a race thing. Having discipline is not a race thing. Having sense is not a race thing. You see what I'm saying? There are certain things that we learn from certain cultures. Right? If you live in the suburbs, you're going to learn some different things that you were living in the hood or the projects. If you live in the ultra wealthy, you're going to learn different things that you would live in the suburbs. So I'm saying, so different levels to it. So I felt like with that, we often be closed-minded, because if you're coming from the projects or from a low-income household, and then what you're seeing is a company like Polo put out a more etiquette and more high profile, luxurious type of clothing for that's centered around black people, but you in your mind have never seen that, or what you've seen, Polo has never done that, or you've never been around that type of Polo to understand what they're doing. Your first mind is, oh, they're kind of, they're trying to go off our culture. And then a lot of times we speak without knowledge. And what I mean by that is, we speak without doing our own research first. We speak out of passion. We speak out of emotion. We speak out of blindness. You know what I mean? So for that instance, I feel like we need to get it under control. But you can't be mad at them. It's about educating wise, right? Now, I was frustrated too when I heard that, because in my mind, I'm like, well, why are we doing this to our community? But I had to learn not everybody's like that. Everybody grew up with Polo. Some people did have to steal Polo. You feel me? I was fortunate enough to not have to steal Polo. But you do have people out there that did have to steal Polo. You do have people out there that still had to go on stores and boost Polo. So I'm saying, go on stores and take it. You feel me? I never had to do that. Granted, God has blessed me with the ability not to. You feel me? But it's ignorant for me to say that. Let's prove that they never did it. So his story was probably real. He probably did have to do that. You feel me? But where I do get frustrated with him is, there was no to learn behind the frustration. There was no call to understand why they were doing it. Excuse me. There was no call to, let me look this up for myself. And if you're still mad about it, then by all means talk about it. You know what I'm saying? But it was more of, I barely know what's going on, but I know this much, so I'm gonna talk about this much. You know what I'm saying? Now, I can also understand his frustration if that wasn't happening beforehand, but it's good that it's happening now. It's good that we're getting recognition now. Because before, we weren't getting recognition at all. Well, we were, because Polo, like I said, was built up on the brand by heavy black influence, but we weren't getting recognition like we are now. So it's good that we're getting now. A lot of times we mistake that with them trying to culture vulture us. You know what I'm saying? Or them trying to steal our culture. Which they are, sometimes. But it's good, it's in the manner if they do it, right? Now, if they would have did it in the sense of, they would have made the collection and made it $50, that would have been, I could see a problem with that. But they did collection and made $200, $300, $400. You feel me? So they priced our value as not the highest value, but they priced our value as a value. See what I'm saying? As substance, as quality, as luxury. See what I'm saying? In that sense, I'm like, okay, you have to give them not applause, but give them credit in the sense of they're giving us our flowers in a sense. They're showing recognition to our HBCUs, Spelman, Morehouse. I think they put Howard in there too. They're showing us our recognition for their designers that went to that school, that pays homage to that school, you feel me? So that's what I mean in the sense of we have to just research our own. We have to research before the war, research before the battle, right? And be not grateful and thankful. I mean, yes, but no, because we should already have been getting recognition, but we shouldn't be ignorant, or we shouldn't be frustrated that we're just I can't. It's hard to explain, right? Because yes, it's frustrating that we're just getting it now, but at least we're getting it. At least it's a step. At least we're making the right directions, a right move in a step in the right direction. Thank you. So that's what I mean by we have to take our wins when we get them and capitalize off our wins, because we're not always going to get them. And I have another video that I'm about to record right now that I want to talk about. I just talked about this yesterday. But with that being said, I try to do your own research about the Polo line. You just look at Ralph Lauren Oak, and it should pop up. Just do your own research. Do your own discoveries and everything like that. If y'all do agree with it, and y'all do agree with him, then go ahead and agree with him. If you want to know whatever I'm talking about TikTok, or Ralph Lauren, it should pop up. It's a man. I think he had like a red or purple background, pink background, some type of color in the background. I think he had a beard. That's what I'm referring to as like. Then he had other people commenting on him too. But then do your own research for the Polo line. Do your own research for Polo if you're really interested. If you're not, then okay, I don't care if you're not interested for real. You feel me? But if you are interested, do your own research about the brand. Look at Polo Roots. Look at the fashion designers. Look at designers. Look at the collection. Look at everything that you want to look up to know more about this subject. You feel me? But with that being said, it's bad. I am glad to be back. It's true.